Welcome everyone to our first introduction to Java class. Today we're going to start with the basics of Java. For those of you who don't know, this is part of affiliation of Junior Coding League. We have been hosting library sessions for the past year, but unfortunately due to this COVID-19 crisis, we're now going to start hosting lessons through Zoom, and we're going to post these lessons online through YouTube. So without further ado, let's get started. So let me introduce myself. My name is Anish. I'm an incoming senior from West Windsor. I'm the co-president of Junior Coding League, and I'm going to be running the Java classes today. So without further ado, let's get started with our first class, Introduction to Java. So for those of you that are in this session, we hope that you have started have downloaded an integrated development environment so that you can run your Java code. I personally use NetBeans. I don't you guys, but like you guys can use whatever you would prefer. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with this very first program. We're going to call it the Hello World program. It's a very standard program that many of you will have started learning. Like whenever you start learning Java, you'll start with this program or with pretty much any other language. So let's start. So we're going to start by in your favorite programming integrated development environment. We're going to create a file which we're going to call Hello World Java. So go ahead and do that right now. And I'm going to do it along with you guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to copy the following code onto our new Java file. So please go ahead and do that. I'll give you 1 minute to do that. So I'll do it now with you guys. All right, so let's execute this program. And so we just ran our first Java program, and then it printed Hello World. If you got that, congratulations. You have just written and you've just executed your first Java program. So now let's analyze this program. You probably were wondering, what do all these words mean? So let's analyze it. So first we got this like this first line that says public class hello world. So basically all Java code is contained within a class, which is a user-defined type. So whatever this class the name of this class, first of all, it has to match the source file or the Java file. In this case, it's hello world. So basically, and now let's move on to the keyword public, which right here, and what it is. It's a modifier, which makes this class like visible to the whole world. So So let's go over a bit more about public classes. So basically, Java source files, they can only have one public class, and whatever this source contains like a public class, and it must, as I said, must match the name of the file. And let's move on. So now you may notice these two curly braces. So you may wonder what those mean. So those reference the scope. So which is the region of memory, or like in which what we call a construct, or like what is defined. So in this the scope of so as you can see, the scope is running this whole main method right here, and whatever is going to be in this method, that's what it is going to run. Whatever this is. Now let's talk about the public static void main. So what the public static void main is, first, the main method is an entry point in like any any application and command lines in which are passed into. So basically, like a statement, within this main method, it directs like the program to take action, whatever whatever like work that your computer program does, or which as we guys may call code. It consists of a series of statements. So and all these statements are organized into this main method. So all these are basically grouped into one task. And as you can see on the bottom, we have our very first statement, which we're going to call system.out.println. Now let's talk about what this system.out.println does specifically. Oh, before we do that, let's talk. Let's reference one more thing about this main method. So this main method, it has to begin with a public modifier, public, and what this parameter is, whatever like is within these parentheses are known as parameters. So what? So basically, within this parameter, it's taking a group of string array arguments, which is what are the which which are what those statements are. So let's talk about this statement right now. So this statement, system.out.println hello world. So system.out, it's a stream like that which let's like print something out to your computer, and it basically you'll find it in this console or whatever you guys like to call it, and or command window. That's so and this like well basically this like and within the like I said, I'm within these parentheses. It's taking into an argument and whatever it'll print in the new end. So basically, this system out to print, what it does is, as we said, it represents the standard output. And what println does, it basically prints the display. And what this ln means is it follows by a new line character. So we can't see it very clearly, but what this is actually doing is it's printing this and it's going into the new line. So we can't actually see it, but yeah, that's what it does, and we'll see it very soon. So okay, so let's try a small exercise. Let's write a class. Let's call it Tic-tac-toe, whose main methods like we're gonna print whatever uh like this following pattern in your computer's display. So let's spend 5 minutes doing that. Some of you may have finished this rather quickly, but let's give a chance for everyone to catch up. Let's spend another 3 minutes on this. Okay, let's go over this. So let's create a new class. We'll call it. So let's create a main method. So this is I'm pretty sure many of you have found this to be very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to print. We're going to have 3 statements, 3 println statements, and they're just going to follow whatever characters we see right here. Okay, let's go ahead and run this. Yeah, so it worked. Very simple, very easy. I'm pretty sure most of you found that to be very easy. Let's move on. Okay, so now we're going to go into a very small unit about comments. So basically, whenever you're programming, it's very common to include some helpful information within a source file. So that's what comments are. Comments are basically plain text inserts to help and add notes to your programs. So basically, and one more thing, comments are not ignored by the Java compiler. They're not part of your program. They're just for you to get some help. And so now let's go over how we're going to add some add comments to our programs. So let's start with there's one. The first way to add comments is we can make a two backdashes, and you can write whatever you want following those two, and that only works for one line. And the second way to do it is you can have slash star followed by a star slash, and whatever's within those whatever's within the scope between those two, those will all be commented. So let's practice commenting something in this program right here. So let's write this program
points. Tic-tac-toe. So as you can see, it's in a different color. This is not part of our program. Let's run it. As you can see, nothing changed. It's all the same. And let's add some stuff at the bottom. This program runs successfully. And once again, if we run this again, yep, it ran perfectly. There's no issue at all. All right, now let's move on to um, print and println. So we went over println in our very first program, Hello World, and our tic-tac-toe program. But there's also another method called print, and let's see what the difference between those two are. So basically, what this print method does, it writes the text to display, but will not add a new line character to the end of the output. So and on the contrary, the println, it will add a new line character to the end of the output. So let's practice that. So let's create a class called print exercise, whose main method will print the following display into your computer. And what we're going and the trick is we're going to use two print methods and 4 println methods, no more or no less. So let's spend about 5 minutes doing that. We'll go over this in 3 more minutes. And just a reminder, please remember to do this in 2 print methods and 4 println methods. I know some of you may be tempted to do this a different way, but please do it in 2 print methods and 4 println methods. Alright, let's go over this. So some of you may have found this easy, some of you may have found it hard, but let's go over this. So let's go to a new class called print exercise. So what we're going to do first is we're going to first start with a print method. And then we're going to have another. So we've used our two print methods, and now the next part is you may wonder why we're going to use why we're not going to use any more print methods. So as you can see, where we remember what the println method does. It prints a character, it prints a string, and then it will go to the next line. So as you can see, there's nothing following the C there, and so we'll go to the next line. So we're going to use a println method. Then we're going to follow with the A, B, C, and 3 more println methods. Okay, so we finished our program. We have two print methods and 2 println methods. Now let's test. Yeah, as you can see, we have the correct output. We got ABC followed by ABC. So now I hope that was very straightforward, very simple. If you guys need like any like and to go over that, please take a look now. Okay, let's move on. So now we're going to talk about the new line and tab characters. So these are also part of printing. Um, so let's start with the new line character. So the new line character, what it does is, you may have noticed in the println method, it printed a new line, but there's also another way to print a new line. So what this is it's going to be denoted by backslash followed by lowercase n. So we're going to have a slash n like that. And so let's look at this small statement right here. And what it says is we have system.out.println, and we're going to have a hello followed by space slash n space world. So as you can see, the output what this will print if you were to put this in the main method, it will be hello followed by a space and then world. And the space is because we have a space between the slash n and the world. So now let's talk about the tab character. So the tab character is denoted by backslash followed by a lowercase letter t. So what tab? I mean, if you hit tab on your keyboard right now, and like when you're typing something, it'll like it'll give you like a bunch of space. So that's exactly what this tab is going to do. So as you can see here, we have another statement: system.out.println hello dash space. I'm sorry. We have the backslash followed by lowercase t, which is what we define the tab character to be, space world, and the output will be hello, and then followed by a tab and then a world. So that's very straightforward, very simple. So let's try a small exercise, and this will be our last exercise for today's session. So let's spend about 3 minutes doing this. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a tab for that. We're going to have a class called tab practice, whose main method is going to print the following. And be sure to print it exactly like this. We'll go over this in 1 minute. Alright, let's go over this. So we're going to create a new class. It's going to call. So we're going to start with the main method. And we're going to start with this. We're going to have start with creating the header, which will. So we're going to there's an, as you can see, there's a tab between the name and gender. So we're going to have /t and oh, and by the way, let's go over like what these plus signs mean. So basically, like if you have a very long string and you want to add to it, wait, that's what these plus signs will add like will add further strings into one println or like one print method. And these are called like adding string literals. If you so, followed by there is no. It's important that you put these in quotation marks. So before we do that, before we follow, let's go back to. So this will be a perfect time. As you can see here, there's a new line following this header, and as you can see, what this we use a println here. So it's going to print a new line, but as you can see, we're going to go to the new line, and then we're going to have another new line. So another way. So using what we learned, we can define that using /n. So now let's move on to adding the names, the genders, and the age. And remember, you want to include tabs between Chad, male, and 32. So let's move on to Alex. And Alex is 41. Let's add the last person, who is Shell. She's a female. She's 12. Now let's run this. So basically what we see here is it didn't align perfectly, but what we can do is if you want to make it more fancy, and if you want to so call it, we can just we can just add another /t over here. You don't have, you don't have to make it that fancy, but for purposes of this video, we will. And also, it's good practice just to, So, no, come on. That one for Alex too. So as you can see, it's nice and organized, nice and spaced, and nice, evenly spaced, and we created this table. All right, so that was the last exercise for today. So today, let's recap what we did. We went over how the hello world. We went over comments. We also analyzed the hello world. We went over like how to do the caret, like the difference between print and println, and then we also went over these tab characters and then the new line character, which we implemented in this program. So basically, this stuff is very easy. This is just a good introduction to Java. So in the following lessons, it'll get much more challenging. Today was just a very easy introduction, and we hope like you enjoyed today's lesson. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our channel for notifications about the next lesson. And if you would like more practice problems related to this or more challenging problems, please email juniorcodingleague@gmail.com. And also please share this video with your friends who are maybe in elementary or middle school. We want to impact as many kids as possible during this crisis time. And also please check out our other videos and lessons for tutorials on our languages. I know we're going to do Python, we're going to do HTML. We're trying to educate you kids the most we can. And so thanks for watching. Again, my name is Anish, and have a good day.